Now, if you're doing weights 3 times a week, I know there's like different philosophies. What's your philosophy on that? Do you do whole body 3 times? Like, how does that work?
I target all the muscle groups really in those 3 sessions, but there's so many different ways you can do it.
It's so much easier to walk on a treadmill or go on a walk outside because you don't have to think about it. With the weight training, if you don't have a proper person or somebody helping you, you're like, where do I even start? Welcome back to the Flexible Neurotic podcast. I'm Dr. Sarah Milken, the Flexible Neurotic. We're going to get pumped today. You know, I call lifting weights, lifting the dumb and necessary weights. I'm honest, lifting weights is hard for me, but I do it because it's good for my midlife self. My guest today is a 54-year-old fitness trainer in the UK who only started her personal weightlifting journey within the last few years and turned it into a huge Instagram platform and trains private clients and has an app. This midlifer has taken the midlife pivot to new heights while she says she is chasing strong, not skinny. From the UK at 6 p.m. her time, Annie Murray. Hi.
Oh, thank you. Hello.
I'm so happy you're here. We just discussed how it's sunny in LA and it's freezing in London.
Yes, yeah, we're due to get snow this week, so yeah, excited about that.
Here you are. You're in a turtleneck. I'm in a tank top because I'm profusely sweating, and we're like living completely different temperature lives here. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I want to get into it with you because, as you know, lifting weights and midlife women, it's such a hot topic right now. And everybody's talking about how for longevity, your brain, your body, all the things, lifting weights is so crucial. And so many of us find it so hard. We have like mental blocks around it. We don't want to get bulky. It's too complicated. How many sets do you do? How do you not get injured? So today I kind of want to talk to you about where you started, how you started, and to kind of like take us through what you teach to other midlife women about your journey and also the part of your building your business. Because obviously, this was a big midlife pivot for you. You have kids. How old are your kids?
My kids are older, so I've got my eldest is 22, my youngest is 18, and
Right. I
he's
have
also a
20.
personal trainer.
Oh my gosh, I have 20
Yeah.
and 18. So I totally get
Oh,
it.
okay. Yes.
Yes. Oh my God. I have one who's in his second
Oh,
year of college, and I have another one who's applying to college right now, my daughter. So I'm
lovely.
kind of in that same kind of half empty nest. Do you guys use that term?
Yeah, we do over here. Yeah, we do. That's right. So, yeah, my eldest is at university here, so he's in Manchester, and we're going to see him this weekend actually. And then
Oh,
I've
how
got my youngest
fun.
one at home. So, yeah,
Oh my
he might go to
gosh.
Manchester actually next year. So, yes. So then I'll have none at home. It will just be
I
my husband
know.
and my
Isn't that
dog.
crazy? Okay, so like let's
We're
talk about it. So you were, I'm not sure, were you a stay-at-home mom? Like what were you doing before you were Annie Fitness Queen?
So my background is computing. So many years ago, I got a degree in computing, and then I was a software engineer, working for software houses. And then I met my husband. We had children, and then I sort of had a break from work and did voluntary stuff. And then I went back and did a bit of PA work, so secretarial work. And then I started to build websites. So I started to learn WordPress, and then I built websites. And then I set up a little company called Amsite Design, actually. So that was the first little company that I developed. And I developed websites for people. So I worked from home, which was great because it was flexible. I could manage the kids at the same time. So yeah, so then I did that for a number of years. And then I decided to have a complete change in career and become a fitness instructor. So I was, I know, going from a sedentary job to very active. And because
Amazing.
I've always been really passionate about exercise. I've loved it. All through my life, I've sort of done something, I did a lot of cardio. before, so a lot of running. When I had my second son, I just started running. I did a lot of running. So yes, I was into that. And then body weight exercises as well, but nothing really weight bearing, like, picking up dumbbells and stuff. So that came later. So yes, I became a personal trainer then and a fitness coach. And I started doing circuit training classes then, locally, just in village hall and things like that. And I remember my first class, I literally had one person turn up. I was so over the moon with this dear person. She was so delightful. I mean, it was just great. I loved it. And that was the start.
I
And then
love that story
now,
because it just shows you that everything starts small. Because a lot of us
oh
want to
God,
start
yeah.
something and it feels embarrassing and it feels scary. What if no one comes? What if one person comes? And you just told us that you had one person come and now you have like hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers. So you have to start somewhere.
Oh my goodness, everyone has a day one. And yes, and do you know what? I've learned so much from that journey. And one thing is just don't give up, never give up, and you'll have knockbacks. I could have classes. I mean, the word got around, and suddenly I went from one person to like 20 within a matter of weeks. Um, so you just have to persevere. You really do, and never give up. And you'll have setbacks, but just ride through them. And everything is a learning curve. Everything you learn from, whether it's good or bad, and you just learn. And yeah, that's what I've
So
learned
tell us where
really.
you started. Like when I read about you, you were 50-ish, you started having panic attacks. You're like, what's this anxiety about? What's going on here? Wait, is this menopause? And then it kind of sent you on this new journey and trajectory. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so that's a kind of different sideline part of it. So when I entered perimenopause, I didn't even know I was going through that stage of my life at the time because I'd never heard of that. It wasn't really broadcast much back in
And
those days.
how old were you?
So I was probably about 42, I can
Okay.
imagine. So I was about 42, and my body started changing. So as my estrogen was dropping, and one particular symptom I was getting was that if I was going out for a few drinks socially with some friends, the next day I would have these anxiety. I'd wake up with anxiety and huge feelings of like feeling ashamed and guilty and worried, just concerned about if I'd said anything wrong or upset someone. I mean, it was just ridiculous. I think it was just these thoughts manifesting, going round and round in my head and getting over exaggerated. But it was not, I'd phone my friend and say, "Oh God, was I, what did I say? You were fine, nothing was wrong. What's wrong?" So it was weird. It just wasn't very nice. And I started getting these kind of episodes of after nights of drinking and also heart palpitations as well. And I look back at it and I think, gosh, yeah, I think it was all linked to perimenopause, to be honest. But I'm very one of these people who, if there's a problem, I like to sort it out, and I like to, sort it out and find ways of helping myself do that. So, one of the ways I believed that would really help, because, it was clear it was linked to drinking. So I thought, right, I tried to cut down and, would stop quite easily, but then I'd always go back to it. And I just reached that point, and it kind of coincided at the same time as me wanting to train as a trainer, a personal trainer and a coach. And I just thought, you know what? I'm going to really go for this. I really want to be a good trainer. I want to be a good role model. Everything, this, I'm going to put all my effort into this. This is my dream. This is what I want to do. So I just thought, I'm just going to stop. And I didn't put a kind of like date on it. I didn't think, yeah, I'm going to stop for a month. I'm going to stop for 2 months. I just thought, I'm just going to stop and let's see how it goes. So I chose the worst time of year because I'm a strong believer in that if you do something in the hardest times, I think, you get through it. I think it's a proof of real strength. So I did. So I did it at Christmas time,
Oh,
nearly 7 years ago. 7 years ago. I know. So I had all these events lined up, and I thought, oh, crikey, yeah, I'm just going to do it now. So it was the 10th of December and 2017. And I thought, right, okay, here we go. So yeah, I did have some help. I stopped for 2 weeks, and then my friend was doing RTT therapy at the time,
What's
and
that?
it's called rapid transformation therapy, and it basically kind of is a way of rewiring your brain, your thought process. So I had a session with her. It was an hour, and it was very empowering. And it kind of took you back, right back to like way back when you're young. And with me, it was about feelings of self worth and not feeling worthy and things like that. So yeah. Anyway, I did this session and I came out. I thought, well, yeah, that was really powerful. And then I went away and I had a tape to listen to for 21 days. And that's where this habit forming comes in. So a habit can be formed in 21 days, apparently, or you can change a habit. So I listened to this tape for 21 days, and then that was that. And it was like a condensed version of the session, 20 minutes long. So yeah, so that was the start of it. And yeah, I gave up drink. So at that point,
Was your
um,
husband doing this as well? Was he like, what is Annie doing here? Like, what was his sort of role in all of this?
no, I've never put pressure on him to give up. It's a very personal journey for me. And, I you have to do what works for you, don't you? And I'm not one for making people feel guilty or putting them under pressure and saying, no, you have to do this. I'm, I'm just, I'm going along my journey, and this is my journey and no one else's really. And I did it for me. So
Now,
yeah, he did. It's
when your
fine.
estrogen started to drop and you started to notice all these changes, was your body, I mean, you said that you worked out a lot running. Was your body changing too and not kind of showing you the same results that it used to be showing you? Like, what was going on with your body and your fitness at the time?
Uh, well, my fitness, I mean, the biggest symptoms for me in perimenopause were really low moods. I just would wake up and I'd have this huge black cloud over me. It was just horrendous. And I just didn't know what was going on. Thought I was going mad. And that's why I really lent on exercise to kind of really help me, in a natural way to get those endorphins kind of churning out and just, making me feel better mentally. So that really helped. Sleep as well was hard. Yeah.
Did you start HRT estrogen?
Well, do you know what? I didn't, because I didn't know I was in perimenopause, I didn't even think about menopause or whatever. So I didn't go to the doctor or anything. I was just kind of trying to get through it myself. And then one day, probably 3 years later, when I stopped drinking, and actually I was in menopause, I'd actually stopped ovulating then. Um, that's when I had a conversation with my friend, and she said, "Oh, yeah, you should go to the doctor because that sounds like you need some HRT." I was like, "Oh, crikey, okay." So off I went. She said, "Yes, yes, you need to take this stuff." So I went on to HRT then, but I'd gone through perimenopause really, and even
Wow.
ovulating. And then I went on to HRT. Um, but so I was trying very hard to deal with the symptoms myself and trying to find ways of making myself feel better and solutions for the symptoms without using HRT actually. But then I went on it eventually, and yes,
And
yeah, I'm on it
how
now.
did the HRT help you from where you were to where you are right now?
I think the HRT really helped with the sleep. So it helped with the sleep and also the low moods. It
Mm.
did really, really help with that. I wasn't really one for suffering really bad night sweats and stuff. They were very, very mild. So I was lucky. I think my symptoms were quite mild really compared to some ladies. I mean, there's so many
I
symptoms that come
know.
with it.
It's
It's
like
quite frightening,
it's
really.
never ending. Now,
I
with
know.
your fitness routine, obviously health and fitness for everyone changes over time. And when I read about you, you said that you used to do a lot of running and cardio. How is your fitness journey today versus the way it used to be?
So I used to do, sorry. So I used to do lots of running, lots of cardio, and my belief was that I had to do all this cardio to be healthy. You know, you had to be kind of like, I don't know. I used to kind of use it as punishment, really. You know, I'd have a bad weekend of eating. I thought, right, we've got to run, run, run. So over the years, and started when I started being a fitness trainer, and I now realise that actually it was the wrong way to think about it. And now I wasn't even lifting weights back then, so it was a lot of cardio and body weight. And then when I started lifting weights when I reached 50, I realized that it's so much more important to be strong, to be strong in midlife rather than doing loads and loads of cardio. What you want to focus on is building that muscle, because muscle is a protective layer around your body. I look at it as that it's like a body shield, really, that helps you process glucose and everything. It's so incredible muscle. And I've learned this really from the age of 50 when I started strength training. So, you know, by doing loads of cardio before, I was trying to, you know, I was practically, keeping my weight down, and I had really low muscle mass. But now, since reaching 50 and starting to do strength training, I've realized the benefits of having muscle. You know, it's just incredible. Everything has changed. Before, my immune system was really low. In particular, I used to have bouts of shingles every year, constant cold sores, constant colds, you know, flu. I'd get everything that was going, basically. But since building muscle, I cannot believe the change in my immunity. It's just incredible. You know, I don't get shingles on it, got touch wood here, but
I
you
know.
know, you know, because you can't jinx it. So yeah, it's just changed my health, not only my body on the outside, you know, my body composition, but it's also changed my whole health on the inside as well. It's just made me so much more healthier, having more muscle mass. So I've gone from like being about 7.5 stone, having really low muscle mass, doing endless cardio, you know, running, 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 to then having muscle mass through strength training, building my muscles gradually over time with progressive overload. And and my body composition has completely changed. I've put on probably about 6 or 7 pounds, but I look more toned because, well, muscle weighs, it's more dense than fat. So if you look at a pound of fat, compare it to a pound of muscle, you know, the muscle is going to be much, much smaller, much, much leaner. So it's more dense. So, you know, even though you might weigh the same, you know, the same weight, you will be leaner and you'll look more toned with that muscle tone. So, yeah, so I've learned a lot from strength training in the last 4 years. I started when I was 50. I'm now
That's
54.
amazing. And I love that part of your story because there's so many of us who think it's too late. I didn't start in my 20s and 30s, even 40s. I'm 50, I'm 55, I'm 60. It's too late. And you're here saying, like, look, I didn't start till I was 50 and now I'm a fitness trainer. And if you look at your Instagram, I mean, you are very, very muscular and toned. And that takes
Yeah.
a lot of work. And you can't just, it doesn't just come out of thin air, but you started at 50 and look what you've done.
Yeah, yeah. And yes, I started with really low weights. I started with lifting 4 kilogram dumbbells. I mean, you know, so it's, you know, it's all possible. And you shouldn't think that you can't do it because you're in your 50s and, oh my God, you know, it's too late, or your 60s or your 70s. I've got one client, Andy, he's amazing. He started training at 69 with me, you know, and he's building muscle. He's just incredible. You know, his metabolic age has come down. He's now 70. This year he had a metabolic age of 62. And the doctor said to him, he said, what are you doing? You're the age of your body's getting younger. So you're reversing your age. He said, what are you doing? He said, oh, it's all Annie.
But
It's
that's
like,
what happened to you. You were 52 when you were clocking in at 36 for your biological. Not wait, your chronological age was 52 and your biological was 36? Did I
Yeah,
say that
so
right?
I've only I've only just started measuring that this year because they got one of these machines in my gym that I go to. So they got this lovely metabolic machine, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna have a go on that. So you kind of jump on with no socks on, and you grab these handles, and it does the complete scan. And yes, it measures in depth your muscle mass, your your body composition, skeletal mass, all of that, your weight, your water, everything is fantastic. And then at the end, it gives you this metabolic age. And I thought, oh, we're just going to check that out. And so that was earlier on this year. And so I was 53 earlier on this year. I was 54 in June. So at that point, I had a metabolic age of 36.
Ah.
I looked at it and I thought, my God, what the hell's that? And I thought, well, that's good.
Wow. I'd be too scared to get on it. I'm like, what if he tells me something I just don't need to know? I'm like, first I'm going to work
Oh,
out like Annie and then I'll test myself, but I'm not sure I want to do that right now. But did you
I,
learn how to do this? The progressive over. First, I want you to define the progressive overload and then tell us, like, did you learn this because you were training to be a fitness instructor? Did you find an app? Did you just start lifting weights? Like, how did you just start?
well, I was a trainer. I am a trainer. So I'm, a qualified personal trainer. So I was teaching clients progressive overload anyway. So, I know the technique, I know how to do it. So you progress with the weight gently and gradually over time. And that's how you build muscle, putting pressure on the muscles to make microscopic tears, and then they grow back stronger. So progressive overload, you can do it in different ways. You can add more sets, add more reps, increase the weight, introduce drop sets, and slow down the tempo, have less rest time between sets. There's lots of different ways to do it. So, but I just started on my own journey. So I knew what to do, and I knew that I was to, progress with the load, and that was the way to build muscle. So I started doing that with myself. So, and I really only do 3 sets, and I work out 3 times a week. So with strength training, I've always done that right from the beginning. So 3 times a week, and I gradually increased the weight over time. So started off really low, and then, for an example, after 4 weeks. So I like to use 8, 10, 12 rep range. So so I start off on 8 on a weight, and then I go to 10 reps, and then I go to 12. And then if it feels easy, then look, those last 2 reps, of the 8, 10, 12, then you go up to, from 8 reps, you go to 10 reps. And then those 2 feel easy, the last 2, then you go up to 12. If those 2 feel easy, the last 2 and the 12 reps, then you could go up a weight. Yeah. But you have to do it really gradually because you don't want to injure yourself. So do it really gradually. I've gone up to now. You can see the weight that I lift on my
It's
Instagram now.
crazy.
It's taken 4 years to get to there. People are like, "Oh my God, what the hell are you lifting?" And I
Yeah.
think, well, I didn't start off on that. So, and the most important thing in all of this is form. When I say form, it's technique. And you must never ever progress with the load unless you've got good form and you can keep that form, keep the technique. Okay, so when you lose that technique, that's when injuries happen. So you must make sure that you only move up a weight if you can keep the technique. So yeah, otherwise you can have injury.
Now, if you're doing weights 3 times a week, I know there's like different philosophies. Like some people are like, oh, I do upper body on this day and lower body on that day. What's your philosophy on that? Do you do whole body 3 times? Like, how does that work?
I think I've always done 3 days full body. So I target all the muscle groups really in those 3 sessions. So I purely started 3 days because it was just timing for me. I didn't really have time to do 4 days where I'd do 2 upper body and 2 lower. I just really didn't have time. I just thought, I'm just going to get in there 3 days. I can manage that. And I just thought, right, I'm just going to target all the muscle groups. Um, but I don't do endless exercises on one muscle group. I really only do one. Well, apart from legs, I do probably 3 exercises in the legs in those sessions. So yeah, so I target all muscle groups in the 3 sessions. But there's so many different ways you can do
But are
it,
they
you
the
know.
same? Do you typically do the same workout each time, or you have different variations of the workouts? Because I think what gets hard for the average person, if you don't have a trainer, is it's so much easier to walk on a treadmill or go on a walk outside because you don't have to think about it. With the weight training, if you don't have a proper person or somebody helping you, you're like, where do I even
Where
start?
do I go? Yeah, what
Yeah.
do I do? Well, yeah, it's essential to have a good program. You can't just go into the gym and think, right, I'm just gonna lift that, because you do need to know what you're doing. So that's where a program is essential, really.
And tell us about your
And
app. This is your place to plug. Tell us about your
oh, my
app.
app. Yeah, well, I wanted to develop something that I could just reach more people with, because obviously I'm doing face-to-face training here, my lovely clients still, and local classes, but it's very localized. So I was trying to think a way of reaching more people, because when I did this Instagram thing, I started to get lots of inquiries from people. So, do you do workouts online? You know, so I thought, okay, let's do it. So I thought, right, let's do an app. And the app, I love it. It's been a real journey for me doing this app. It's been very exciting and hard at times, hard work. But yeah, so in the app, as soon as you go on the app, you're asked several questions. And 2 questions are, do you want to build muscle or do you want to lose fat? And
What if you
then
want to do both?
well, you kind of, you will lose fat anyway when you build muscle, because you suddenly turn into this fat burning machine with muscle anyway. So, so
Right.
it kind of like goes hand in hand. But yes, so you're asked several questions and then you go on a journey, basically. It's a workout journey, and you can stay for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. You can stay for 12 months. There's a workout journey, and each month you've got a workout to do, and it will track. You go on, it'll give you the exercises. I'm there demonstrating all the exercises, and then you can track your weight as well, so you can input that, and it will take you through a proper program, a workout that you can do in the gym. If you haven't got access to a gym, you can do it at home with dumbbells. So yeah, it's a workout journey,
So do you
basically.
show both versions? Like one, if you're in a gym and there's an Olympic bar, I think you call it, and then there's another version where you show videos with dumbbells. Like or do you just pick one? Like, does your video just show one or the other?
Yeah, so my workouts, which you probably noticed on Instagram, I don't use any machines. I've never
Right.
used any machines, purely because I haven't got any in my gym. So I've only ever used dumbbells, and I've used a barbell. I've got an Olympic bar, and I've got a pulley. I've got a pulley that I've attached to the ceiling. Okay, and that was £50. So I bought that, um, and had my builders put that into the ceiling. So those are the 3 kind of things that I use, and they're the 3 things I use in my workouts. So I don't use any machines. No, there's nothing like that in there. So that's why it's quite adaptable for people who either can do it at home. So if people haven't got access to a pulley or an Olympic bar, that's fine. They can use a barbell if they want to, if they've got access to a smaller one, you know. But if they haven't got access to either of those, then I can give them alternative exercises using dumbbells. So if they've only got dumbbells, then I can give them alternative exercises to the exercises that use a pulley and a barbell if they haven't got that piece of kit.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, because it's funny because I have a trainer, but I see people in the gym who are on their phones and they're obviously following something. So they're probably following a type of app like
Yeah.
yours where it's saying, do this, do this, do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. it's good to have a program to follow, because then you're being guided by a proper trainer, on how many reps you should be doing, how many sets, and it's a really good thing to do. Otherwise, you go into a gym and you think, crikey, I don't know where to start here. It can be very kind of, I don't know, overwhelming. So it's good
Totally.
to have a program.
Now,
Yeah.
a big part of your Instagram and what you talk about is food. You basically
Mm.
say, you can work out all day long and sideways, but if you're not getting the food part right, I'm not going to say a waste of time, but kind of a waste of time. And the most maximum kind of the results you get is when you change the food that you're putting into the engine. So I would love for you to talk about I know you call it unprocessing your diet, which is so hard to do because I'm actually in the process of doing it right now. I'm like on week 7, I think. I don't know when this will
Yeah.
air, but I'm like, oh my God, like really trying not to eat out of a package, not trying to eat processed food. So tell us kind of what your food philosophy is and how you count it, do it, make it work.
Well, going back to the point where I gave up sugar and processed food, I'll go back to the beginning, shall I?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
when I gave up alcohol, I found myself sort of binging a bit on kind of sugary stuff, because I think there's sugar in alcohol and then that kind of needs replacing. And I kind of like, yeah, I was finding myself eating quite a lot of processed food and sugar. And I used to think, crikey, I'd wake up, and feel really rotten. I think, what the hell's going on? I haven't even had a drink. And this isn't fair. Um, so I thought, do you know what? And it was in lockdown, and I had my little group of fitness clients. And I said to everyone, how about if we give up sugar for a month? Let's see how we feel.
Oh my
And like
God.
doing all these challenges. And everyone said, yes. So anyway, I set up this group and it was called Sweet FA. And it was just brilliant. So every day I started doing research. Okay. So along the journey, I started researching about sugar and then processed food and all of these things. And I started posting within that group lots of different information. So I was learning all the time. And that was the starting point. And I got to the end of the month and I said, wow, I mean, it's a no-brainer for me. I'm just going to carry on. So yeah, so I carried on and I haven't touched sugar since. So yeah, that was in 2021, February.
Wow.
So yeah, so I, I ditched the sugar. I mean, for me, it was the missing piece of the jigsaw. It really was. So I do think that taking that out and taking the processed food element out, all the nasties like the food colorants, the additives, the preservatives, all those kind of sweeteners, artificial things. Um, I just think that's what's really helped escalate my progress in the gym. I do believe that because I just look at my body composition and how quickly I've achieved what I've achieved in just 4 years, really. I do believe that fueling your body right plays a massive part in your health and your progress on your fitness journey. It really is essential. Um, so yeah, so how do I look at my diet? For me, when I started strength training, I also, so I gave up the sugar, the processed food, but I also started eating more protein. So, because again, protein is essential for muscle building. Um, so then I started learning a lot about protein as well. So then I started having probably about, 100 grams. I try and hit 100 grams of protein a day. Sometimes it's over. Yeah. So, but I get it from real food. So
So
and
you don't do protein shakes.
no, but I don't do anything like that. I don't do protein bars or protein shakes. So I went on a journey then of looking at protein and then, what are the best protein sources. And then I started learning about types of protein, and that's really interesting as well. And so and learning about amino acids and the 9 amino acids that you have in lots of food. So they're complete proteins, proteins with the 9 amino acids in, which your body can't produce. So you have to get those from food. So I kind of, my diet is very rich with these complete proteins. So, for example, for breakfast, I normally have 250 grams of yogurt, but it's Greek yogurt. It is real Greek yogurt.
And it
And
doesn't have sugar.
it hasn't, no, well, it's Greek yogurt, so it's high protein.
Well, and here
Um,
we have Greek yogurt that's full of vanilla and
oh, no,
strawberry.
no,
Like,
no,
yeah, we
no,
have a lot
no.
of that here.
Yeah, I can imagine. No, none of that. It's natural Greek yogurt. It's my favorite. So I have about 250 grams of that. The fat-free version actually has got higher protein in
Hmm.
it. So 250 grams gives me 25 grams of protein. And then I love nuts. Good fats, healthy fats are so important. They're so important. So I have normally about 30 grams of mixed, like walnuts, almonds. I love them.
So you put
So I
those
put
on the yogurt.
Yeah, I put them in my yogurt. I just
Okay.
love them. And then I have a big palm full of berries. Berries I love. So raspberries are so high in fiber. Blackberries, blueberries I love. So I chuck those on as well. And that's 30 grams of protein, boom, in your first meal. That's giving you probiotics, it's giving you fiber, it's giving you healthy fats. It's just it's just amazing. I love that. That sets you up for the day. 30 grams of protein straight away.
Do you have
So,
coffee?
yes.
Do you drink coffee?
Oh, yeah, I have coffee. Yeah, I do like coffee.
Coffee with no
Absolutely.
sweetener?
Oh, no, I don't have sweeteners.
Ah.
No, I don't have sugar or sweet. Oh, no.
No, but you
Do you
don't
know
do,
what?
so you don't even do like stevia or monk fruit or anything like that.
No, I don't. I don't do anything. I don't do honey. I don't do maple syrup, agave syrup. I don't do any sort of sweeteners like stevia and stuff. No, I just don't. I guess it's so interesting because when you take those things out of your diet, the sugar and all of that, your palate changes. It really does. And to have something sweet. So every now and then I have a date.
Yeah.
Sounds so funny.
Wow,
I sound
you've
like a
really gone
nun.
crazy, Annie. Crazy.
I really push the boat out here and have a date every
Wow.
now and then. So that just sounds so boring. So, but that is so sweet. It just tastes so sweet. I mean, it's lovely, but gosh, it's sweet. Your palate changes, and it's just you don't actually want it. You don't want this kind of sweetness, really. And I love the sweetness in fruit. I eat fruit. I love
Yeah, it's
fruit.
interesting because
Watermelon.
some people,
So
like
sweet.
carnivore diet people, they're like, some people are just not, are not even eating certain fruits. And it's like they're
Mm,
eating meat, cheese, eggs, all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't think I could totally give up fruit too.
no. I don't think I could do that, to be honest. I mean, I like fiber in it. I think the fiber's really important. So they come with, antioxidants and everything. Fruit is quite important, I think, as part of a balanced diet. So, um, yeah,
Do
so
you
I
count
love fruit.
macros? Like, do you count what you're eating in a day? You have this much fat. I mean, I know you count the
Oh no, I
proteins.
don't. I don't know. I haven't got time to do that. The only thing I do, I keep it all really simple. Um, so when you eat processed nutritious food, you just don't need to do that, I don't think. So the one thing that I focus on is protein. I just make sure that I get my 100 grams of protein, and that's it really. And it really simplifies everything. Because if you're eating whole, nutritious, nutrient-rich foods, you don't overeat. You just don't, because you're not hungry. You're not hungry. You're not picking and looking for snacks. You're just, you have either a substantial breakfast, a good lunch, and a good dinner. High protein, and I'm I'm satisfied with that. And my weight doesn't go up and down. It stays the same. I'm not craving things. My blood
Do you
sugar's
eat sweet
stable.
potatoes, anything starchy, quinoa, like anything, brown rice, or is it literally just kind of vegetables and protein?
I do eat quinoa. I like quinoa. So I have that sometimes at lunchtime. Yeah, on my salad. Lentils I like as well. So sweet potato is my favorite go-to carbohydrate. I'll be honest. I
I
love it.
mean, me too. I could eat nine, but I don't.
Yeah. 9.
I'm just saying, like,
You
to
probably
me, in
up.
this state where I'm trying to eat less sugar and less packaged foods, a sweet potato is like a fucking donut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, oh my God, this is so good. And then you put the grass-fed butter on it, and
Um,
it's like, wow.
oh, it's my favorite. I mean, I love sweet potato. Yeah, I do. But I eat them in moderation.
Me
So
too.
I am careful. So another thing I focus on is portioning my plate. So if I'm to have carbs with my meal, something like sweet potato, I make sure that so if you look at your plate and it's like a clock, so quarter of it would be the protein, quarter of it would be like the sweet potato, the carbohydrate, and then half of it would be like non-starchy veg. So you can have as much as that. Cucumbers, tomatoes, leafy greens, courgettes, broccoli, asparagus, anything. Just fill your face with that stuff. So, and
And
it's all full of fiber. It keeps you full, and
how do
also
you
healthy
manage the
fats. You need that
protein?
in.
Yeah, how do you manage the protein thing? Like, organic, grass-fed, finished beef. I don't know. No antibiotic, hormone-free, free-range chicken. Like how do you make sure that every single piece of protein is like this perfectly sourced piece of meat?
I No, I don't, because I think it's impossible. I think you can, get really transfixed on all of that. I mean, it would be amazing if I could, have grass-fed beef all day long, but it's getting hold of it, and it's very hard to get hold of. I get my meat from a butcher's, so I guess, it's free range. It's a local butcher, so it's local produce, it's
Hmm.
local farms. I like shopping locally because I like to support local shops. So I get my meat from a lovely garden centre here in the UK. So they've got a lovely butchers in there. So I get my meat from there. But, you know, I guess some of it's free range. Yes, I hope. So,
Yeah, I know. Me too. It's just
but
you can't
yeah,
be perfect all the time. And I
no,
think
you can't.
it gets
You
hard. And then
can't.
you start getting all stuck in that. And this isn't free range and this and that. But you could become a crazy person.
Yeah, I think you can drive yourself mad with all of that. So I think if you can try and be good a majority of the time, then that's great. But try not to think of that too much. So,
And what
but yeah,
about the
it's
going
good
out
to have
to
free range.
meals? Do you find that going out for meals is kind of not as fun anymore? I mean, obviously you're not drinking, you're not eating sugar. And then you're like, wait, is this chicken cooked in what kind of oil and all of that kind of stuff. So how do you manage all of that?
Oh, it's quite, yeah, I guess. I mean, I love going out to eat. I do. And I just pick things that, that basically I know that is right. So I normally have steak. I love steak. So steak and vegetables like some broccoli, carrots, stuff like that. Yesterday I went for a really nice roast dinner. So, I had pork, which was lovely, carrots, greens. I had asparagus in there as well. It was lovely. I had some roast potatoes. They were lovely. So,
Oh, you ate a
ch-
potato.
I had a potato.
Wow.
I eat,
Wow.
I eat potatoes, right?
That's very edgy of you.
Right. Tiny potato. Yes, potatoes are really white potatoes. They're very good for you. High in vitamin C. They're
I think
fantastic.
what
So
you're saying is you're kind of, I mean, obviously your diet is extreme in certain ways, but you have moderation in other ways. You also work out so much, your body needs something to run on too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The thing is, when you have high muscle mass, I weigh about 50 kilograms, and my muscle mass is just over 40 kilograms. So I've got
What is
high
that in
muscle mass.
pounds? Is
Oh
that like
God.
100 pounds? I know. I don't know. I'll have to
It's
do the
sort of
math.
like double, isn't it? Yeah, something like that. Yes.
Okay.
So I've got a really high percentage of muscle mass. So it means that I burn calories quite quickly because muscle is more metabolically active than fat. So I burn through calories quite quickly. So I do eat absolutely loads. People can't believe what I eat.
For this,
I'm very small. I'm only 5'3", and I mean
I'm
this
5 foot
huge
two. I'm five foot
dinner.
two. People see me in person. They're like, "You look so much taller on Instagram." I'm
I
like, "I'm a really small person."
think it's great Instagram. People think I'm really tall, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure
No.
there's nothing of me, to be honest. Everyone's really so much more taller than me. Everyone I know. The only one that isn't is the dog now, so
Yeah,
that's okay.
exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, so going out for dinner, I'm just mindful what I choose, and I always say, look, can you give me the sauce on the side, so I don't want anything plastered with loads of sauce all over it. I always ask for it on the side. I don't want to be too awkward. And then, I just have loads of veg and a nice piece of chicken or whatever and steak, but obviously I don't have the pudding. I like cheese and biscuits. Well, I don't have the biscuits. So instead of having, a sweet course, I ask for the cheese. But instead of having the biscuits, the crackers, because they've normally got sweetness and whatever in, um, I have like fruit or chopped up carrots or cucumbers, stuff like that. An apple, that would be quite nice
So
with cheese.
would you say you're gluten free?
Um, I don't tend to eat white floured goods, so I avoid things like bread. And things like crackers and stuff like that. So I do avoid them. Yeah, I do. I wouldn't say I'm gluten intolerant. Um, I just I just choose to kind of avoid them really.
Yeah, because
So
there's gluten in all sorts of sauces and stuff.
yeah, yeah, it's added into a lot. So yeah, I just choose not to have it. But I wouldn't say I'm gluten intolerant. So
Now, for the women who are like, oh my God, I've been trying to do the weights and I'm not seeing results. Like, I know you talk in your Instagram a lot about how it's consistency. Like, how long? It's like we are all so used to like instant gratification right now. But I feel like with weightlifting, it takes a minute to see results. How do you sort of keep women motivated and kind of keeping their head in the game? Is it like an accountability thing, having a partner? Like, what is it? Because it's so hard.
yeah, it is hard. Um, I think it's about building healthy habits, isn't it? And I think, the way I do it now, I just do it automatically. I think, well, I've got to do my 3 days of strength, so that's it. I plan it and I book it in. Every week is different because all my week is all kind of mixed up at the moment. There's meetings all over the place, so I just think, right, what am I doing this week? Okay, right, I'm slotting it in there. And if it means I have to get up at 5 and go and do it at 6, then I do. So but I schedule it into my week, and I think I schedule it and think about my workouts as as meetings. They're business meetings with my health. So it's not, I look at it as a necessity. It's not really it's a no-brainer. I've got to do it. It's non-negotiable. So I schedule those in. And I think over time, motivation gets you started, I think, but discipline, it's about discipline that keeps you going, really. And I think the only way is consistently doing something so it becomes a habit, and then it becomes ingrained in you and it becomes part of you. And actually, you know, you do it, and then you do start enjoying the process. When you start seeing results, building muscle takes time. Like you said, it does take time, and it's not instant. Okay. So, but without you knowing, it's compounded over time. So every workout, you view every workout, you got to view it as one step closer. Okay. And you'll just get to like suddenly like 4 to 6 months, and then suddenly you'll wake up one day and you'll be in the gym lifting a weight, and suddenly you notice a muscle and you think, oh my God, where's that come from? And and then you think, wow, okay, I'm seeing some progress here. So, and then that just, I don't know, it gives you gratification, doesn't it? And then you just carry on. I think you have to fall in love with it. But over time, if you do something consistently, you do fall in love with it. Yeah, you do. And just think about every workout is compounded over time, and then suddenly you start to see results. So you really do. But you have to be patient and just be disciplined and put the effort in. And it's all about consistently doing something, and that's when you see the magic happen. Don't give up.
Now, do you work out when you go on vacation?
Of course.
You do. Okay.
Oh my goodness, I'd go mad if I didn't. Yeah,
Really?
I just,
Wow.
yeah, I need to. So every vacation I have, I'm always making sure that either there is a gym there or there's a gym close by, and I go and join it. So I join it for the duration of the holiday. So yeah, I can't miss a workout because it's so ingrained in me that it's part of me now,
Does your
4
husband
years.
does your husband do all this?
Oh my goodness, yeah, finally, he's on board. But he used to do loads of cardio, right? So, and then he started getting into it. Yes, and now I do his programs for him, and he's actually really enjoying the process, and he's in the gym now. Yeah, so we do it together. So yeah,
This is like your
he's doing it
little
today.
half empty nester project together. The longevity, the couple's longevity mood.
I mean, he's older than me. He's 58. So, I mean, I do feel sorry for him because, living with me must be a nightmare, mustn't
I'm
it? So, but no, I
sure.
try not try not to like push too much onto him. But no, I mean, he's feeling the benefits. Not only he's feeling great, he's looking amazing. His muscle mass has increased. He's looking in great shape. Yeah, I'm very proud of him actually.
Now,
He's doing really
do
well.
you take testosterone?
No, I don't
You don't.
take that.
Okay.
No.
And in terms of like supplements, creatine, like what are your daily supplements?
I don't take any.
Oh my gosh. Wow,
Yeah.
Mrs. Healthy doesn't take any
I
supplements?
No, I don't. The only supplement that I take is HRT. So my estrogen gel that I rub on that side
Mm-hmm.
of my arms each morning, and then I take my progesterone tablet, one tablet at night. Um, And I don't take any other multivitamin, no supplements, nothing.
And do you have all of your vitamin levels tested and you're knowing that you're just getting it all from all the healthy foods you're eating?
Yeah, I don't really feel I need to go and get tested. I mean, I feel very well. I mean, yeah, I mean, I've got loads of energy. I, you know, I, I I just
How do you
feel,
get
I just
vitamin
feel
D
well.
in London when it's so dark?
Yeah, all that. I think I could do with some of that actually. That's something that I might actually look into because
Yeah.
I haven't started looking into that, but I do know that there's lots of health benefits with that. So
Yeah, for
yeah, so I
sure.
might start looking at that, particularly in this country because we
I
just don't
know.
get a lot
I mean,
of
it's
it.
so sunny here, but my son goes to school
Oh,
in Philadelphia, and I'm like, dude, you got to take the vitamin D. I am sending it to you. How hard could it be? I'm like, you're going to be
Oh,
in darkness for the next 4 months and you're not accustomed to that. Like, that's a really big
no.
shift for an LA kid to suddenly
Mm,
go to a place where it's dark a lot.
yeah. I don't like the darkness, I'll be honest. I think that's one thing I'm I built this house that I'm in at the moment, so that was a big project. And one thing that I was really, um, that I really said I wanted in the house was loads of light, loads of windows, get all the light in, so knock all the walls down. So there's
Exactly.
loads of light. I love light and being in the dark. That's why, yeah, the dark evenings here are kind of like, yeah, it's tough in the
I
winter.
know we have
So
daylight savings here now and it's dark at like 5 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, when is it going to be springtime?
I know it's tough, isn't it?
When my
Yeah.
husband and I graduated from college, we lived in London for a year and we were working in London and it was so dark for me as an LA person and for him, he wasn't as bothered by it, but I got one of those lights that you kind of look into
Oh
every
yeah.
day because I was like my body just needs some of that light.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that sounds good actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could do some.
Better than a tanning salon, right?
Yeah.
Now, in terms of your business, I mean, obviously, a lot of midlife women, including myself, I started this podcast, have either passions or projects or businesses that they want to start, but it feels really scary. And I know we touched on this at the beginning, but you're kind of like 4 years in now, similar to me. How did you? I don't know. How did you have the courage to just say one day, okay, I'm going to start it small. Here I go. And you're doing it in a very public way on Instagram, as am I. And it's not the easiest thing in the world.
No. I mean, well, I was a fitness trainer before the Instagram thing. So, I started locally. So I started doing classes locally and, and then it kind of grew from there. And then the Instagram kind of thing came in really last year. I was posting on Instagram before, but I was posting, just snippets of reels from my classes and just saying, oh, great exercise class or whatever before. But then last year, 2023, I started. I thought, "Do you know what? I'm going to start posting about my journey on Instagram. I thought, see if that gets any interest. So yeah, so I started doing that because there's lots of things that have happened that I've done, that I've changed, and people are kind of quite interested in that. So, becoming a fitness trainer, giving up alcohol, giving up sugar, strength training, menopause. So I started just talking about things like that. Um, and yeah, that got a lot of interest. And that's what's grown my account so much because people are fascinated, I think, with my journey. And I love sharing what's worked for me because I just think, gosh, if it's worked for me, it might work for someone else. Not saying that everyone should be doing what I'm doing, but they can take what they want from my story and then maybe it might help some people.
But
I
are
don't know.
people asking you, like, Annie, how do I give up sugar? Because it's one thing to say, I want to give up sugar, and it's another thing to actually do it. Like, are they asking you for specific tips on, like, how did you get through that first month sitting at home during COVID and not eating a bite of
Yeah.
sugar?
Yeah, it's hard. I do regular posts on what helped me. I did a post the other day on how I gave up sugar. So things that helped me give up sugar as well. Yes, I do questions all the time
So
about things like that.
what helped you
Alcohol.
give up sugar since it's such a big thing for us, especially me, because I'm in it right now?
Bless you. Um, I had to really educate myself about sugar. So, before I gave up sugar, I thought I'm just going to give up all sweet things. Yeah. So I'm going to give up sugar. I'm going to give up chocolate, sweets, cakes, donuts, things that are sweet. But then over the course of that month, when I gave it up with my group, I started researching about all the other different types of sugar, all the different names that sugar has. So, oh my God, there's loads of them. When I last looked, there were probably over 60 names. So much out there. And then they add all this sugar into processed food. So to enhance the flavor, extend the shelf life of products and stuff like that. So then so then I educated. One thing I did was educate myself with the different names of sugar. And the biggest thing to avoid sugar was me reading food labels. I started to learn to read food labels. So I would look at something in a shop, look at the front, and it might say healthy, but then you turn it around and you look at the ingredient list, and automatically I'd say, right, yeah, no good. No good. I'm not having that, because I would recognize, the different flavorings, the additives, the preservatives, the different sugars in there. So yeah, learn to read food labels and become aware of the different types of names of sugars, like corn syrup and all, there's loads. Google it. How many different names are there for sugar? So it'll give you a massive list. So start to learn to recognize the different names
Were
and
there
start to learn to
specific
read ingredient lists.
were there specific things or tricks that you did? Like some people are like, when you want that sugar at 7:30 at night, drink a cup of tea. Like, were there actual things that you did to like get through the trenches of it? Because it is hard. Like you have withdrawal, you
Yeah,
have headaches. Like sugar is a drug.
yeah. So the first 2 weeks when I gave up, I just went cold turkey completely. So the first couple of days, yeah, I had a banging headache for about 2 weeks. And but interestingly enough, I get like after a couple of days, my craving stopped. I think people are really fearful of it. They think, oh my God, how am I going to do it? Yeah. But actually, when you give up, when your blood sugar stabilizes, you don't have those cravings. So yeah, that was quite quick. That happened. But yeah, the headaches went on for about 2 weeks. So they were quite uncomfortable. But yeah. So what else? Yeah, reading food labels. I mean, if I fancied because a lot of people get into the habit of having something sweet after their dinner, don't they, in the evening? So you know, I bring back the natural yogurt, the Greek yogurt again. That's a fabulous thing. So, you could make a pudding up with that. So you have your
Right.
pudding, have some more Greek yogurt, put some berries, use fruit as a sweetener. Yeah. So if you really want that sweet fix, use fruit. I mean, watermelon. I mean, God, that's so sweet. It's so delicious. It's got so many good nutrients in it, and it's rehydrated. It's hydrated. It's fantastic. Chop up some watermelon. Have a few slices of that.
Yeah, I
If you
think
have that
people are
dip in,
sometimes scared of fruit because they're like, it's so much sugar, but it's better sugar. It's a
but
different
it's
kind of
good.
sugar.
Yeah, they're whole foods. So, in the afternoon, if you think the thing is to fill yourself up with nutritious whole food, and then your blood sugar is stable and you won't get the cravings. So, but if you do find yourself, hungry mid-afternoon, then have a high protein snack. Yeah. So have some hummus, some carrot sticks, some cucumber sticks. You've got loads of fiber going on in that. You've got some protein with the hummus, or you can have some chopped up boiled eggs. So
Yum.
that sounds disgusting, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
yeah,
But
that's how I live.
do you use like almond butter, things like that?
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm not against it. You just got to be careful of that if you're trying to be watching calories and stuff. So
Yeah,
it's very
that's
high
true.
fat. So just be careful. Just make sure that you don't go in there with a big, huge spoon and start, eating the whole jar. So just be mindful of how much you have.
Exactly, exactly. Oh my God.
Everything in moderation, right?
So before we wrap up, before like when you like going back to the original one of the original questions, like if women are wanting to start something and it feels like, oh my God, that feels too hard. How do I put myself on social media? Like, do you have any advice for women who are just feeling kind of stuck and not knowing what to do next?
With regards
Like
to
starting a
exercise.
business. No,
Oh, starting a
well, yeah,
business.
starting a business in midlife like you did.
Oh, that's a good question. I think you you know. I just chose a profession that I was very, very passionate about. And I think, if you have a passion like I did, I think it, and you want to start a business, I think you've just got to go for it, because your passion for what you do and what you love will come through. It will come through on that journey, and you will excel. I do believe that. But you've got to be really passionate about what you do, what you sell. You've got to believe in your product, of such. If you want to set up a business, you've really got to believe in it. And I think that's the key with me in my experience. I couldn't do all this unless I was passionate about what I do. I'm so passionate about it. I live and breathe it every day. I lie in bed and I'm thinking, God, what can I do? What can I do? On Instagram, I've got so much information going on here. I just want to post every day about stuff that's worked for me. I think, but it becomes easier if you're passionate about something and you believe in it. And for me, I believe in the strength training. I believe in the good nutrition, because I've used myself as a guinea pig really over the last 4 years, because I wanted to see if it worked, with my own experiences. And I know it works. So yeah, if you've got a passion and you really believe in something, go for it. Okay. And you just have to. And I think you will succeed. So yeah, you'll have setbacks, but just keep going with it.
I
That's
know,
my
believe me,
advice.
that's how I feel. Like some days I wake up and I'm like, I love my podcast and this is amazing and I could never live without it. And other days I'm like, oh my God, I want to burn this to the ground. Oh my God, I'm too
Yeah.
tired. Oh my God, it's too many things. Because
Oh, I
also,
know.
also doing things like as a solopreneur, whatever you want to call
Mm,
it, sometimes it's like you feel like it's all on you.
mm.
It's like
Yeah, you
you're the
do.
person who's putting up the Instagram. You're the
Yeah.
person who's, creating the business. You're the person who's doing the fitness thing. So it's a lot on you all the time. And so, I
Yeah.
understand sometimes why people have partners because it is a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I think, gosh, what I've learned over the last few years is incredible, really. And it's such invaluable experience. It's amazing. I think it's just so nourishing and incredible. And I actually love it. And I'm just enjoying the process. Yeah, it's really been tough at times. And when I was building my app in particular, I got to a point and I said, I can't do this. I actually can't do this. I had such bad self-doubt. I thought, what on earth? People aren't interested in an app from me. What on earth? What am I thinking? What am I doing? I honestly, one weekend, it was awful. I was in my pajamas all weekend. It was just horrendous. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. I just had huge self-doubt. It was awful. So, but I just left it. I thought, right, I'm gonna get dressed, I'm gonna get washed, I'm gonna go out. And I gave myself 24 hours. And then the next day I came back to it. And the guy I was working with, the developers of the app, they said, just do it. You'll be fine. A lot of people have this self-doubt, but it's okay. You're going to be great, and just had a word with me. It was brilliant. And I just thought, yeah, do you know what? Let's get over this. I'm gonna do it. I am gonna do it. So, I have huge obstacles. I've had them on my journey. So I just think that's normal. Self-doubt is normal. I think I compare it to being an artist. I mean, I just thought, gosh, how can an artist ever finish a painting? I just think that it's incredible that they actually sit back and think, right, I'm finished now. Because when I was doing my app, I kept tweaking things all the time, thinking, oh my God, I need to tweak that.
It's like writing
I
a
don't,
book and you edit for forever.
how do you ever finish writing a book? How do you ever finish, painting a picture?
Yeah,
But
it's true.
people do. People do. And I had that about my app. I kept tweaking things. I kept tweaking. The developer said, just stop. Everything is great. You don't need to do any more. And I'm like, okay, right, yeah. I need to step back and think, yes, okay, so it is okay. That's
And
something
so
I've really learned.
how do you market the app through your Instagram?
So yeah, the only channel that I use is Instagram. So yes, I post about my app on Instagram quite regularly. So you can access my app through my bio on my Instagram. So um but yes, it's there, it's live, and I will be we're developing it now at the moment, putting the infrastructure in to do one-to-one online coaching. So I'm quite excited about that. So that's going to be announced soon.
Now, is
Yeah.
that
So
coaching like, hey, Annie, I want you to do a workout Zoom with me? Or is it just coaching like we're going to talk about food and talk about workouts in my workout? Like, or is it training?
it's training. So, and it's going to be done through the app. So it's going to be called VIP coaching. So it will be me training someone one to one. So I will develop workouts, particularly for them, for their requirements. So, and they will be closely monitored. So they will be able to access me all the time. So in a chat room, nutrition and everything. It's a one-to-one VIP personal service. So yes, I'll be launching that and keeping a closer eye, on their progress. So, and making sure that, everything's done properly and we reach their goals. So it's a very individual, personalized service. So
And how many women will you be able to take, or men in that?
yeah, so I'm going to start off quite low because obviously I'm
I know it sounds
with all
time
of
a lot of time too.
yeah, I just think I want to, because with all of these things, I like to put in 100% effort, and I don't want to spread myself too thinly. I want to make sure that I focus on a real core number, and I want them to succeed, so I can't do that with loads and loads of people because I don't know. I haven't done this before online. I've done face-to-face training, and but I haven't done online one-to-one training before. So it's very new to me and I want to start small. So I don't know. I'll probably take on, I'm not sure yet what number. It will be very low, but then I'll see how that goes. And if it's, successful and I feel that I can take on a few more, then I'll add to that number. So, and then, yeah, and we'll just see how that grows.
I
So,
love
but
that
yes,
you're
that's,
taking a chance on yourself and you're constantly kind of reiterating and experimenting and trying something new, even though it feels kind of
yeah.
weird and scary. It's hard. It's hard to do.
Yeah, it is hard. It is scary. And the one thing I worry about is my time,
Yeah.
how much time am I going to be using here? Because for me, it's all about balance and I need to keep that balance. Otherwise I get too overloaded and I get too run down. So yeah, but I wanted to have a balance of online and face. I've got my wonderful clients, but I won't be taking on any more um, personal training clients anymore. So, and I do my little classes for my groups here because I love my clients here. Um, so I need to keep them happy, but I also want to do online because, you know, it I want to conserve some of my energy for my own personal well-being as well. So going online will help me do that. And yeah, it will
So
help me do
tell
that.
listeners where we can find you.
So I'm on Instagram and my handle on Instagram is Annie's Fitness Stenning. So
You're going to
everyone's
have to
probably
spell
wondering what
that. Yeah.
I know,
Explain the
but
sending and spell it, please.
so I set up this Instagram handle, a few years ago, and Stenning is the town where I live. So in the UK, it's a little village actually. So that is spelled Steyning. So it's Annie's, Annies, Annie's Fitness Stenning. So yeah, so it's a big long kind of handle
But once
really.
you find it and you're there and you're
Yeah,
good. It's
you know what?
all
I just think
good. Oh my
it's there.
God. Well, I want to
And
thank you
yeah,
so much for being here. I love watching you on Instagram. I love talking to you today, hearing about your journey. And I know that women listening will be inspired to maybe work out a little bit more in the gym, maybe start their business or their passion hobby that might feel a little bit daunting and scary. I'm so happy that you have given me your time and everyone has gotten a chance to get to know you. Thank you for being a guest on the Flexible Neurotic podcast.
thank you. Thank you so much for having
Thank you
me.
so
It's been
much.
delightful to chat to you.
And I
Thank
hope you
you.
get some sun in London.
Oh gosh, I don't think so. The snow's on its way, so
And you can't
yes, we're
even ski
bracing ourselves
there.
for that. Sorry?
I said you can't even ski.
Not here really. No, this
No,
it's not
absolutely not.
it's not in the South Downs, no.